In this video, we're going to look at bearings, which is a way we talk about directions, especially when navigating, things like planes and ships and stuff. So you've surely seen this compass before with its directions, so north going up, east going right, south going down, west going left. And so we're changing views a bit. Last time with angles of elevation and depression, it was a side-on view. But now we're going to sort of a bird's eye view and talking about things like compass directions and stuff. Now, this is all fine, but of course we don't just travel in these exact four directions. If we sort of take an in-between direction here, say this perfect diagonal, we'd call that southeast, as I'm sure you've seen before as well. But now if we come off the exact diagonal, we need a way to be more precise with our language. And now we're still in this sort of southeasterly region, so we'll keep those words there. We've just abbreviated it as S and E for south and east, but notice we're leaving a gap in the middle. This gap is going to hold an angle that will help us be exact with what direction we're talking about. And the point is this, it's written right now as south angle east. So we imagine starting at south and then seeing how far we need to swing towards the east. That's how I think about this sort of south angle east pattern. We're swinging from south to east. And so in this case, I'll just show you that the angle we're swinging is 70 degrees. And that's one way we can specify these in-between directions. We use an angle to precisely say how far we're turning from south to east or from north to west or whatever. That's one way. But there's another way commonly in navigation settings called a true bearing, written as a 3-digit angle like this. And what a true bearing does is it always starts from north, and then it swings clockwise. And so the true bearing indicated by that yellow direction is in this case 110 degrees. Notice the 110 and 70 make up 180 in total, which is what you'd expect going from north straight to south. So by default, if a bearing is just given as a single angle without any sort of north, south, east, west thing attached, we assume it's a true bearing, and we interpret the angle to mean swinging clockwise from north. And so these are our two ways of specifying direction. A compass bearing keeps the language of northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, but puts an angle in the middle to tell you how far to swing, in our case from south towards east and so on. And we have a true bearing that just always swings clockwise from north. Okay, and so let's work out these bearings for another direction to finish this one. We'll go this way this time. And we'll say this angle in here is 30 degrees. We'll start with a compass bearing again. Notice the direction is in this region here, which is vaguely northwest. So we'll just start by writing NW with that gap in the middle for the angle. Then we need to know how far to swing from north to west. So let's put an arrow going north. And so we'd swing down towards our given yellow direction. That's the angle we're after to shove between the N and the W. And you might immediately be able to see this, but let's just be sure. If we swing all the way towards west, it'd be a full right angle, so 90 degrees. And so coming back, we take away the given 30 degrees and find that it's 60 degrees in there. And so that's the number we shove between the N and the W. We're swinging from north, 60 degrees towards the west. Now for the true bearing. We're going clockwise from north, so always start by drawing a north if you're dealing with a true bearing. Always. We need to swing all the way towards the given yellow direction, so off we go. And now at this point, you might be able to just see this angle using the blue 60, and that's okay, but let's pretend we didn't do the compass bearing before. So let's pretend we just didn't have the 60. Right, something to keep in mind is that, again, if we think about stopping exactly at west, what we call due west, then the standard compass directions of north, east, south, west naturally create a bunch of right angles in the middle there. And so from north, swinging 3 right angles towards west is worth 3 90s, which is 270 degrees in total. Then if we swing that extra 30 degrees, 270 plus 30 would give us 300 degrees. And so that would be our true bearing, 300 degrees, sometimes written with a T there for true. Of course, having known the 60 degrees from before, we could have just subtracted from 360 to get the same 300, but this is a more direct approach if we didn't have the 60. And I think it's just nice to be, again, comfortable enough with this setup to see things in a few different ways, which will be really useful when we solve more complex problems involving bearings later. Okay, but we'll do that later down the track, so that's all for this one. Thanks for watching. See you next time.